Okay, everybody. Welcome to Fits and Facts. We got a special episode today, and I am so excited. Shay, what you got to add?
I mean, you know I'm excited because we love this guest. We love this guest.
She is what, Shay?
She is... I don't even know how to say this because there's so many words. But she is the all of all stylist for WNBA. And what else? Stylist, just in general, the looks she be giving. And if you don't already know who we're talking about,
You should know.
I mean,
do y'all not watch Fits and Facts?
Can you hear her voice?
Exactly.
Introduce yourself.
Hello, it is me, Lola, friend of the Fits and Facts podcast. And thank you both so much for having me back.
Always,
Yes.
always. Every season. So what are we going to do today, Lola?
Oh, we're going to talk about Nigerian fashion.
I'm so excited.
Yes.
So excited.
I feel like Nigerian fashion, Nigerian brands are everywhere. So
yes.
why not give the people some knowledge?
I agree. So she is one of the best people to do this. And yeah, she actually you style your WNBA. What is her name again?
Yeah, Tammy Fagbenle. Yeah. So she and we do a lot of work that unites our Yoruba heritage. It's really cool because I feel like a lot of players in the tunnel, like the tunnel is like a blank canvas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You can really use it to showcase your culture.
Mm-hmm.
So I love doing that with Tammy. I have another WNBA client. She's Brazilian. So I'm trying to explore. Yeah. So I'm trying to explore how I can do the same thing, but with Brazil. So that's a lot more research.
Yes.
And that's what we do.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
what we
I'm not
do.
Brazilian, but research is the best part.
It's the best. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. So do y'all want to just go and just dive into the question?
Let's just dive in.
Let's go.
Okay. So I'm going to start. Okay. How would you describe Nigerian fashion to someone who never experienced it?
Ooh, that's a good question. Nigerian fashion is colorful, cultural, and creative. There's a lot of nuance because even though we may use some of the same fabrics, if your eye is well trained, you can tell what tribe or ethnic group somebody comes from based on the fabrics that they wear or the style, the accessories. So there's a lot to unpack. You will never get bored at a Nigerian event. One of my favorite things to do when I'm at a party, I love to look at what people are wearing, but the details. And we'll talk a little bit more about the Asoebi, like when everyone is wearing matching clothes at a function.
Okay.
But, when everyone is wearing the same pattern, the same fabric, how are you going to set yourself apart? So I'd be looking at the little details. But yeah, if you've never seen Nigerian fashion before, get ready for a lot of color, a lot of creativity, and like big cultural signifiers.
I love it.
Yeah, when you talk about innovation.
Yeah.
So
much creativity.
So much creativity. And if you haven't seen that yet, I don't know where you've been.
Yeah. Because it's like so popping right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's been popping.
Yes.
African fashion has been popping. And I think a lot of people really don't know. That's why this episode came about. We was talking to Lola. We was like, we got to do this episode.
Yeah.
So that's why we here. Okay, so what fabrics are essential to Nigerian fashion and why do they matter?
Yeah, so I'm going to speak particularly to Yoruba culture because I'm a Yoruba woman. And there are quite a few different fabrics that you'll find at an occasion. The first one I want to talk about is ashoke. So that's what I'm wearing right now. It is a woven fabric. So the word ashoke actually means like top cloth, like from the highlands. And the fabric is woven into intricate patterns, which I think is really cool. They have looms that make the ashoke, and you'll see this fabric at weddings, funerals, big birthday day celebrations. And also in more modern times, a lot of designers are incorporating ashoke into everyday clothing. But for example, at a wedding, you might see the bride and the groom, and then the parents of the bride and the groom wearing really, really elaborate ashoke as a way to signal who they are as they're participating in the celebration. So that is one of my favorite fabrics. I have a large collection of it. Shout out to my mom.
Shout out to the mom.
I started collecting it because I do think there's a lot of ashoke waste in that people might wear the head wrap and the gili. They'll wear it once and then not wear it again. Or maybe if there's another party and like it's the same color scheme, they might bring it back out. But I feel like the cloth is too pretty.
Yeah, it is
to be collecting dust.
I agree.
In the back of the closet. So I've been incorporating that into my own style. I've been seeing a lot of the Nigerian girlies like push that. Like if you follow Ira Star, you might have seen she wore a gele to the club. Yeah, she wore a gele to the club. And I love that so much because I started wearing it everywhere.
It's amazing to see.
So that's, I think it's really cool how the younger generation are getting into wearing it more because ashoke is a fabric that I typically would used to associate with older people. So there's that. And then there's also Ankara. So Ankara, you both are wearing Ankara fabric, which I love. Ankara fabric is versatile because where ashoke is woven, there's a limitation to just how creative you can get with it. Although it's being innovated upon. Like if you saw Portia Williams, when she got married to Simon Golbadia, she had this iridescent custom made ashoke. Like they can do stuff like that, but with Ankara, like it's printed.
Yeah.
So you can have a wider range of designs. Like I've seen people wear Ankara that have like Obama's face on it, right? Like you can print anything.
Wow.
Yes, if you look it up, you will see they will put political figures, their faces on the Ankara. There's but what a lot of people don't know is that it actually doesn't originate in Nigeria. So while Ankara is heavily associated with West Africa, its origins are actually in Indonesia with batik fabric. Yes. And so when the Dutch were colonizing Indonesia and they gained access to that technology, Dutch merchants would take it to Africa and they hit it off. Like people were buying it. And so
that is so cool.
The limit does not exist when it comes to Ankara. Like I said, there's no limit to the patterns, the way that you can use it. A lot of designers, most designers, I think, are using Ankara fabric outside of just the mainstream ones that are popping, right? A lot of vendors are using Ankara and they'll custom make you pieces, but it's cheaper and it is more expressive in the sense that you can really customize it and do what you want. I do think that Ankara, it also produces some waste because again, like when you do your asoebi and like you're sewing your styles for the party, you might only wear it once, right? So I would love to see people like swap, upcycle, exchange, because the fabric is really pretty and it's also very much more mainstream than ashoke. So if you were in the streets of Lagos, you're more likely to see people wearing their day-to-day clothing in Ankara as opposed to ashoke. Yeah, I love Ankara fabric. I actually have some Ankara that I need to sew.
Yeah, we should definitely do a party.
I need to sew. Yeah, I have a lot of like I made a pair of jeans, or I upcycled a pair of jeans where I cut some out and then replaced it with Ankara. And it was really cool. So there's a lot that you can do with it.
Yeah, I could do an upcycle class.
Yeah, please.
We should do that.
Please.
That would be so much fun. Because I
need-
have a lot of fabric too that I got donated to me. So I have a lot of African fabric.
Yes, like you can do so many things with it. Bags.
Get bags, yeah.
Shoes.
Yes.
A lot of designers are also incorporating like Ashoke and Ankara into shoes, accessories. So I think that's dope. And then the last fabric that I want to talk about is adire. So the word adire is Yoruba for tie-dye. And so this is tie-dye made with indigo.
Ooh.
And what I love about adire is that historically it has been used to communicate status, communicate how, like with the standing you have in society, the event that you're going to. I really love adire because there's different patterns that you can make, like with the tying and the dyeing. Like, you know, with tie-dye, you can just wrap it and manipulate the fabric to get a certain pattern, right? So with adire, they have symbols, and some of the symbols mean royalty, different stages of life. So it's really cool to see that. And the practice of the indigo dyeing is still common to this day. And there's a really cool brand called Dye Lab that has beautiful adire sets. You should look it up. I think you would really like the designs, but I think it's awesome that there are brands that are taking cultural practices like that. And Dye Lab actually uses like local artisans. It's not produced in this big factory, right? So small batch, hand dyed. It's preservation of culture. And what is really cool about Dye Lab as well is whereas traditional adire is like indigo, so it's like deep blue, purple. With Dye Lab, it's all kinds of colors. So I think that's a really dope way to modernize an older tradition.
Yeah.
So those are 3 fabrics that you will see, at least within Yoruba culture. And I know that there are so many other fabrics that are meaningful to the other cultures within Nigeria. And yeah, I want to see more brands really capitalize on this and like use their platforms to amplify some of those traditions. And brands are doing this, but no, we can always do more. We can always control our own narratives, you know, and
I agree.
the more people know about it, the more people are like, oh, maybe this is something that I can get into. Because artisans, if they're not passing down the work, if they're not passing down the traditions, then it's going to get lost.
Yeah, I agree. I had a question. So when they do the dye, do they use plates or do they do like the hand twisting on their own?
Yeah, and then they have like the bowls where they dye. Yeah, they have like, whenever I see that adire being made, they have the big bowls full of indigo and then they twist it up.
Okay, because that's how I dye. I know how to dye really, really well.
Yes.
But I know some cultures, they use plates and the plates have... I don't know if it's like a clay or something, but it's like a plate that has like cutouts and stuff on it, and they put it in between, and they like do this fold.
Yeah.
So I was just curious if is it a plate or is it like a twist? Because it's hard like to actual twist and do those designs. It's a
and I'm
technique.
sure some of those artisans may have other techniques for doing it. But a lot of it is like, you tie it, you twist, because that's the direct translation is you tie it and you dye. So
yeah. And it's not, like I will say, it is not easy to dye.
It's not.
So if you learn that skill, you got a good skill. Because I learned 14, 15, and I've been doing it ever since. Like once you know, you know.
Exactly.
But it's hard. It's not easy. So.
Especially if you want to do a really intricate pattern or a specific pattern. It's so easy to tie it up and be like, okay, whatever comes out.
That's a me.
But if you want to like do, because they do like when you see them, they be having like zigzags and then it's like a pattern up here and then it's like some, and that's awesome. Like that takes time because you have to dye that part. Let that part sit off, dry, so it won't interrupt the other part.
Exactly.
So it's so much skill.
Exactly.
That's awesome, though. It's good to hear that. Okay, I think this is on Shay.
Yes. So you already mentioned like Ankara is everywhere. And so how do Nigerians feel about that? And I'm at a little bit more of how can we appreciate it versus appropriating it?
Yeah. I think what is interesting is that as a people, Nigerians are very welcoming. Nigerians love when people participate in the culture as a whole. And speaking for myself here as somebody who grew up in the States and understands what cultural appropriation is, sometimes I'm like, I don't know. I'm a little hesitant to welcome folks into the fold, right? What I believe is that we need credit where it's due.
I agree.
You know, especially when you start seeing stuff that look a little too familiar on the runways. It's like, okay, well, what is the inspiration behind this?
Right.
I think it's cool that Ankara is now more of a mainstream fabric, because when I was growing up, it was just like a huge thing. Like, oh, like you're wearing like your native clothes. But now like you can go somewhere, you can have a blazer made out of Ankara or a dress trimmed with it. And I think that's beautiful, right? Because nobody has monopoly over fabrics, but I do want people to understand the culture, the history. If we want Nigerian brands to thrive, then as a people, our culture has to be put on a stage, and we're inviting other people in.
Right.
Yeah.
And so people who are not Nigerian are going to be buying, especially because there are brands that are Nigerian owned,
Right.
but they don't necessarily position themselves as exclusive to Nigerian. They're for everybody, right? So I always say mindful participation. Mindful participation.
I love that. Mindful participation.
Yes. And I also saw a video earlier today. This guy was talking about how Nigerian brands are like rooted in heritage, but oftentimes like that just becomes a label, like a protective barrier against criticism. And so as Nigerian brands take the world stage, make sure that like the technical background is there too. Like make sure your finishings are good. Make sure like you're getting your stories told and taking control of your narrative. Make sure that you're opening yourself up to criticism. But also what I will add to what he said is make sure as a brand you're standing up for yourself too. Make sure you're looking into intellectual property. Ankara being everywhere is nice, but what is not nice is a brand like Hertunba. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen their skirts. They have these handkerchief skirts with the striped ashoke, and they have the corsets that have a face on them. And those designs are being plagiarized.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it's so crazy. The designs are being plagiarized flagrantly.
Yeah.
And so my thing is like, okay, make sure you protect yourself. As you put your work out there and you open yourself up to consumption, make sure you're protecting yourself too.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. Okay, this is on me. So what role does fashion play in Nigerian celebration?
Oh,
I'm excited for this.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So there are many, many, many layers to this, but I want to focus on three things. I want to focus on belonging, status, and taste.
Okay.
So when it comes to belonging, clothing plays a very functional role. As we touched on earlier, like for example, at a wedding, right? Everybody might be wearing the same fabric, but the bride side of the family might be wearing one type of fabric. And the groom side of the family might be wearing another color. So that way, you know, okay, that's the bride side, that's the groom side. And then the parents of the bride and groom will be wearing their own colors. The bridesmaids and the groomsmen, they will be wearing something else. And then the bride and the groom, in their many outfit changes, they will have fabrics and colors that are unique to them.
Mm-hmm.
So clothing signals belonging. Even if you're at a birthday party, honestly, like a birthday party, everyone's wearing the same thing. So you know, like, okay, we're all family here. We're all friends of the person. And then it signifies status as well. So it's so funny because we love a viral Asoebi video, right? You see the wedding, they're all wearing the same thing. It's so cute. Everybody has their different style that they've sewn, but that costs money, right? Like the fabric isn't just handed out to everybody unless like that's the vibe that like if the family has money, that's another status signifier, right? Like we're paying for your fashion. But usually you buy it and then you take it to your tailor and then you sew it, but they'll tell you, okay, this is the fabric that we've allocated. Yeah. So if you don't have money, if you don't have status, if you don't have the pull to like be able to acquire that clothing, and you might show up to the function in the same colors, but like everyone will know, she didn't take Asoebi, like she didn't take the fabric. So that is one thing. It also signifies status too. So like you might be at a Nigerian function and like you might see people who have titles. You might see a chief or something. And the way that they dress will signal that they have a chieftaincy title, whether it's through their accessories or the elaborate designs. And then lastly, taste, right? You go somewhere, everybody's wearing the same thing. How do you show you're an individual, right? So it's all about taste. It's all about, okay, what designs are you showing off? One thing that I love to see is that dichotomy between the youth and the elders, because the elders, they have their styles that they sew, like older people, like boomers and up. And every so often you'll see them dip their toes in the waters of the youth. I love when there's a generational crossover. But they also, like the youth, you'll see like, corsets are really popular. So if a girl, she's at a party, she wants to signify she's a baddie, it's going to be a corset. Yeah. So
of course.
It can even be down to how much of the original fabric is in your design, right? Because if you have the money, maybe you even bought 2 pieces of the fabric and now you're just dripped down in it versus, okay, like maybe you shared with somebody, which isn't a bad thing, right? But like there are these markers, there are these tells. I think everybody once in their life should go to a Nigerian party and just be there and experience it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely, it's on the bucket list. Like,
yes.
Because I know it's going to be a great time.
You can't crash one because my friend was trying to get me to crash. I was like, I'm not crashing.
Not crash one.
Yeah.
She was trying to get me to crash.
No, I want to be invited, so I'm being very respectful. Not crashing somebody.
I told her, I was like, why would we? I was like, I don't even have nothing to wear. She was like, we should crash it. No, we shouldn't. So I did not. Funny. So I want to be formally invited.
Yes.
You know, I think this on you, Shay?
Yes.
Okay.
So what does Lagos Fashion Week mean for the industry?
Ooh, okay. This is a good question. So Lagos Fashion Week has been around for over a decade. And I think what is different now is that people are watching. Lagos is a city that is shaping the future of fashion. There's a lot coming out of Lagos, a lot of designers that are even having a big market in Europe and the US. Like they're showing at Lagos Fashion Week. And I think that this is very important because now it's not just for, okay, like local designers, local artisans. Like it's not within Africa. It is a big global thing now. I think even within the last 2 to 3 years, as a Nigerian who lives in the diaspora, I've noticed it gain more traction. When, what was that? I haven't lived in Nigeria since I was a teenager. I went to high school there, and there was a bit of a fashion scene, but it is not what it is today, where we have influencers. We're seeing Nigerian brands in the WNBA tunnel. There is so much more accessibility. And so now it's beyond the clothes. It's like conversations. It's getting the right people in rooms to amplify the platforms that the designers have. Brand activations. It's about styling and getting people to rethink what they have and like use the inspiration that they get from Fashion Week to do more. So I view it as, it's not just Lagos Fashion Week, right? It's not just a vanity event. This is, it's business too. So a lot of folks are actually making trips to Lagos for Fashion Week. I think before it was one of those things that was lower key within Nigeria, but now people are like making it a thing, choosing between Dirty December and should I go in October for Fashion Week? And I love that. I love that so much. I'm personally planning to go this October.
Oh, cool.
And so I'm excited to just go out there as a stylist and see who I can meet. See what kind of conversations that I can participate in and just be around creatives. I love soaking up creative genius. I want to see what's coming down those runways.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that because, they talk about the big four for when they talk about Fashion Week. And we need that to be on the big five.
Yeah.
Let's grow that list.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. We need something that is coming off of the African continent.
Absolutely.
I agree. And I feel like all that, like this, like the taking of stuff, and a lot of brands have built their brand off of African fashion, and now it's time for people to step up and say, well, I got this inspiration, and like you said, give flowers to the design, the original designers.
Yeah, like for you two, like when do you feel was that moment where you really started taking notice of African fashion?
I feel like in college, when I went to art school, I had to do some projects, and she gave us each a country to do, and I didn't want to do my country, so she said, okay, well, you could pick. And I picked Africa, and I started noticing different stuff, but I'm like, a lot of this stuff is similar to what we're wearing, but when you're in fashion history, you're learning all things, so you're seeing so much. So I'm like, this reminds me of this from Nigeria. This Lego, like it was just so much stuff that was similar. So I feel like I noticed it in college.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you, Shay?
It's hard to pinpoint. I've always been fond of it. And I think a few years back, I was just doing some research on just like, what can we look for in the future of fashion? And it kept talking about how really like keep your eye on African fashion because they are going to blow up. It's going to blow up. And that's when I really start taking and liking and looking into it, because it's just like it's something that wasn't talked about. You see it, but no one talks about the story, the history. What does it mean? What is it representing? So yeah, I'm loving this.
A lot of patterns and stuff like Louis Vuitton, they hold their whole like symbol and stuff it comes from Africa. So it's just so fashion comes from Africa.
I think one thing for me, as we go deeper into this conversation, I would like to see Lagos Fashion Week crystallized as an institution, because I think what Nigeria and Africa in general lack are institutions for the arts. Like, there are institutions for other fields that are taken more seriously. But my friend Christabel loves to say that fashion is a human right, or not fashion is a human, but beauty is a human right. Like, if you think back to fashion history, people were expressing individuality from the caveman's time. There is evidence that people are craving to express their individuality, to express their beauty, not just for vanity, but for themselves, like the ritual of it. The beauty is really the byproduct. It's the like y'all are tastemakers, okay? Like y'all know it's the collection. It's the, when you shop, it's not just because you want to buy something. Like there's something so magical about looking through the racks and saying, that is me.
Yeah.
And it comes home with you. So I believe that we crave to do this as people, and it should be respected. And there need to be institutions for fashion the way that there are institutions for art, because the art scene in Nigeria is pretty robust. So I want to see that for fashion too. I want institutions that are thinking of creating publications, are thinking of, okay, how do we further this craft? How do we further education around the craft of fashion? How do we make sure that it's not just like, okay, because there's a big tailor economy in Nigeria. Like, you know, you send your stuff to your tailor. Right. Your tailor might not even be a good tailor, but there's levels to it, right? So if a tailor wanted to increase their skills, where do they go that's credible? Yeah. If a stylist wants to do something, where do they go? That, you know what I mean? Right. So I think Lagos Fashion Week is a great starting point to be institutionalized, like to make institutions so that we can further the craft.
Yeah. I love that. And I think it's also, I wonder if it's tapping into the younger generation more so, because they're the ones who's going to pay it forward. Yeah. And if you can get them to realize this is the need and this is what we can bring our future. Yeah. I think that will be amazing. Yes. So y'all hear Lola speaking. Please listen.
Yeah. But one thing I will say with fashion, you always gonna look for the people that paved the way.
Yeah. Hello.
They can ask us. We will tell them, yes, you need to do this. Because I feel like my mentors are older. Yeah. People that have been in the industry for a very long time. So I think they need us too.
Yeah. Yeah, both.
It's a symbiotic relationship.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. How does Nollywood influence everyday style in Nigeria?
Nollywood. The Hollywood of Nigeria. Nollywood. Yeah, no, Nollywood is... So I actually think it's the other way around in modern times. Among the youth and the Gen Z populations that are in bigger cities where, you know, there's a robust creative or alternative scene, I definitely think that people are channeling the nostalgia of old Nollywood to a degree. But I actually think that more people in the diaspora are influenced by Nollywood. It's almost like the Y2K.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if we're talking about modern Nollywood, like modern Nollywood films are more of a reflection and commentary on what's happening in the streets. And as such, they're mirroring what people are already doing versus Nollywood, current Nollywood style shaping the culture. Like, if you go on YouTube and type in Nollywood movies 2026, right, you're probably going to see something like Lagos Baddies. So many Lagos Baddies movies. Like, that's a whole other podcast topic in and of itself. But in a movie like that is based around a Lagos baddie who is trying to bag her some rich man so that her bills can be paid, and she's plucked from obscurity and suffering into this life where like her destiny is sorted by a helper. The things that she's chasing, the clothes that she's wearing, like she's looking for a Birkin. She's looking for like she might wear something like form-fitting, like that. Art and life are imitating each other. So the culture is influencing Nollywood for real. I am sometimes influenced by old Nollywood. The way they do their makeup, the hairstyles, the just general Y2K feel of the stuff, but that was influenced by Black American culture.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's where it comes from. Like, so yeah, I think it's more like the diaspora is influenced by old Nollywood. Modern Nollywood is influenced by what's happening in the country.
Okay. I feel like go hand in hand, like we all connected,
Mm-hmm.
and that's cool. I love that. You know, we still connected to each other.
Yeah.
which is I love.
Yes.
Okay, we wasn't doing 10, right? What was you about to say? Sorry.
Oh, I did have two things, but the first thing is, can we explain a little bit about what Nollywood is?
Yes,
for
absolutely.
some of our viewers who may not.
because I don't know.
If you're not familiar with Nollywood, that Nollywood is how we collectively refer to Nigeria's film industry. The same way in the States we talk about Hollywood.
Okay.
In India, Bollywood.
Bollywood.
Right.
Yeah, I was going.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you answered.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So it's really just that there's old Nollywood and there's new Nollywood. I think with increased access to technology, to cameras, to spaces to record, there are a lot more films coming out of Nollywood now. Like literally every day, a new Nollywood film is coming out,
Okay.
or multiple. Because a lot of the people who star in Nollywood films, they also produce films. So it's becoming like more and more. The turnaround time is more and more. Before, I don't think it was as accessible, but also Nollywood is one of the highest producers of films in the world. Like even back in the day, because Bollywood is number one, like producing as far as production goes, and volume. But Nollywood is up there.
That's good to know because I didn't know. So
And I think and you could probably speak to some other apps, but Netflix get good rep, bad rep. I love Netflix, and I think Netflix is doing a great job of bringing the other productions that are global
Yes.
onto the platform. So you
Yes.
really can start understanding like the Nollywood, the
Yeah.
Bollywood. Like
Yeah.
they're always, so if you don't know, that's a starting place. And like I
Yeah.
said, I don't know if there's some other places you will recommend people go watch movies.
Netflix,
Mhm.
YouTube, as far as Nollywood, like is more of a range. So you're more likely to find the old and the new all together. Like if you're looking for a specific film to watch, it's probably on YouTube. Amazon Prime Video has some really, really, really good, not just movies, because before it was primarily Nollywood films that were being exported, but now shows, series. I think there's one on Netflix that was really good. I think it was called White in Case. It's a show about a law firm in Nigeria. So good. There's so many good ones that I've seen. And then what else do y'all need to know about Nollywood? Sometimes the storylines don't be making sense, y'all.
yeah.
But I think that's more common now with the quicker productions than it was back in the day.
Okay.
Because back in the day, they actually had to pay bills. Like you have to do like good quality work. But yeah, I'm a Nollywood stan. I love Nollywood. One day, who knows, I would love to style or do costume design for a Nollywood film.
Yes,
Just for
that would be
we're claiming that.
Just for the vibes.
Lola
you know?
is going to do that. It's not even, we're just claiming it.
Because that'll be a really cool way to do some storytelling.
Yeah.
No, for real.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
costume is the best to tell
Yes.
stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
I
best
think you're making that character come alive. I think I have a favorite. I guess it is Nollywood thing.
What?
It's Blood Sisters on Netflix.
I think that is that.
And it was really good. Like in high school, and the sister got stolen, and they find the
I've
sister.
heard of it.
I've heard of that
Yeah,
one.
it's
I
really
can't remember
good.
if it's Nollywood or South African, but
Oh, okay. It's
the African productions that be on these big platforms are
ABA one because that's my show.
Yes.
The music is
Yes.
So yes, it's a really good one.
So, is there a philosophy behind how Nigerians dress with intention?
I wouldn't say that there is an overarching cultural philosophy around getting dressed and like being dressed with intention. it's more like if you grew up in a Nigerian household like me, don't embarrass me with how you look. You know what I mean? Like, don't go outside and look raggedy.
No, period.
People take pride. I think it's a source of pride and representing your family and community well. So collectively, I think within the collective subconscious of Nigerians, there is a drive to show pride in your appearance, to show pride in representing where you come from. And also Nigerians are flashy as hell. Like, I can't even deny, there's all these, when the diaspora wars happen, which like, I don't support diaspora wars, but when they happen and like people start commenting like, oh, Nigerians are so proud and this and that, I just keep my mouth shut. Cause I'm like, I'm very proud of who I am. I work hard to be her.
No, period.
I'm going to flex that.
Yeah.
And so that's my philosophy on getting dressed with intention. And I think when I see Nigerians as a whole, that's really just, it's show off who you are.
And we shouldn't be out, because I feel like we all like that to a certain extent.
But it's like, we shouldn't pretend that we aren't, I think if we, more of us did that with pride, without any excuses and without shame.
Yeah.
The world would be looking a little different.
I agree.
I agree. And I also think that like conversations like these and using platforms like these to have this conversation to say, look, Mo and I are like, we want to learn more about the Nigerian culture, other parts of Africa. And like, I think that is what's important. And you won't have those people like, oh, Nigerians are so proud. Like, get to know.
Yeah.
Ask the question because
Ask
you
questions.
can ask.
Because that's the thing, like, yes, we might be the things. We might be proud of X, Y, and Z, but also you can't be too. Like, you can't be.
Exactly.
No,
This is
seriously.
for all of us. Like, that's why I also think that, and as stylists, I'm sure this thought has crossed your minds as well, but it's like, I think that everybody has an inner it girl.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even the boys too.
Yes.
We all have an inner it girl, and you just have to connect to that energy.
I agree.
You have to connect to that part of yourself. We all have a unique style that can take you places, but you have to connect to that.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're so busy looking at what somebody else is doing, that's time that's taken away from you connecting to
And
yourself.
getting to know yourself.
Yes. You're wasting your time on a flashy Nigerian. You should go and be flashy.
And that
Because,
brings,
baby, I love my designers.
Yes. Please. I love when I see, especially women. I love when I see like a woman show off like that. Because there's just, it does something to my soul.
and I think that also goes into that conversation between like confidence and arrogance. Because confidence is like, no, I'm rooting for you too. I love myself.
Exactly.
I'm rooting for you too.
Yes.
You're not saying, confidence is not saying I love myself and I'm better than you. No, you're
Yeah.
like, no, I'm a queen, you a queen.
Yes. Like,
We
you're
all
grounded when you're confident.
Yes.
And a lot of people just don't know the difference.
No.
And I feel like because of insecurity within
Yeah.
themselves, because they're like, well, I can't do that.
But
you
you
know, so then
can.
we can't, literally we can. And that's why for me, Shay, we was in the airport the other day, well, just Monday. And this lady came to me, but basically she was just telling me that I have always been myself. Like I've know who I am. And I think it disrupts things when you know who you are. It disrupts things, but it also shows up in your fashion.
Yes,
and it
ma'am.
shows up in who you are. So when you
Yes,
show up in that
ma'am.
room, you're going to be able to own it in confidence. And I think when someone is being themselves, it has nothing to do with you. It's them being themselves.
Because my thing is like, how do you see somebody that is so like fast? Like, you know, when you see somebody who is that girl, how do you see that and not be inspired to want to connect to that within yourself?
I agree. It rubs off on you.
Yes.
I'll be so happy. I'll be like, oh, girl,
Yes.
yes. Like, I literally not too long ago.
It's like the resonance.
Yeah, me and this woman was in the bathroom. We was like, girl.
Yes.
And the lady was looking at us like, what is wrong with you? But she looked at beautiful. She said, I looked at beautiful. I'm like, I'm having like not the best day, but she just made me. She's like, girl, you look so cute. You look cute, girl.
Yeah.
And so it was just, we just fed off of each other. But I just feel like it's just all just taking it in. You seeing somebody showing up as and so take it in, and know that you can do that.
Exactly.
So don't compare yourself to people though.
Please.
People do it too much.
If you see something, that means that it is possible.
It is.
Don't compare, be inspired.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so funny. My partner, his high school rugby coach would always have this saying, if you can touch the ball, you can catch the ball. And that's how I view the concept of swag. Like, if you see it,
yes,
you can have it.
Yes, you can.
I agree.
I love that.
I agree.
So where do you see Nigerian fashion in the next 5 years?
Wow. That's such a good question. And there are a lot of ways to answer it. But what I want to focus on is sustainability and pioneering sustainability. I think that Nigeria, Lagos, shaping the future of fashion for sure. But in a world where everything is all about fast fashion and waste, I can truly see Nigeria as a force for slow, sustainable couture. And while there will be a lot of ready to wear, there already is a lot of ready to wear. I would love, I see Nigeria shaping conversations around upcycling clothing. Like, as we have a culture around parties, we have culture around Owambe, like, and Owambe is like a really big party, like wedding, funeral, a party where people wear asoebi too. What are we doing with all of those clothes? How are we sustaining our need to show off, right? Yes. How are we telling stories using what we already have? So I see there being a lot of development and innovation around sustainable fashion, upcycling. And I don't just see Nigeria as a force for actually designing clothes. I see it going beyond that. And I see there being really good platforms, not just for buying and selling clothes, but for thrifting. Like, I would love to see like an online thrift. I would love to see an online marketplace for Nigerian designers. I would love to see a department store that's only Nigerian, African, Black designers. And then that's awesome. Another thing that I will touch on, I want to see the same way that Nigerian brands right now are going mainstream. We have brands like Onolaja, Hertunba, Kilentar, like all these brands are really out there. And there's Tokyo James. Like, there are Nigerian brands that show at fashion weeks outside of Nigeria. So I see more options for men and for gender non-conforming people. So not just silhouettes that are designed for the female body, but I see it rounding out and there being mainstream brands for men, women, and folks beyond the gender binary. I think that would be dope because there's not a lot of African fashion for that. There's some brands that do that, but we need more. We need more of that.
Yeah, I love that.
I love that answer. So we gonna 5 years, we gonna see.
Yes,
we claiming it again. This is nothing but manifestation.
I am watching.
Yes.
I agree with you, and I think it will happen.
Yeah,
because it's definitely been shining light on a lot of people haven't even known that it's been going on for a while. I'll say almost 10 years.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah.
I just want to really. It's like, what do you want people to take away from today's topic?
Yeah. I want people to get curious about African brands, not just Nigerian brands, but see what's coming out of Ghana, see what's coming out of Kenya, see what's coming out of even Northern African countries. I think it's really important to understand clothing traditions in other places because in the States in particular, we're so disconnected from our clothing. I saw a video on TikTok a few weeks ago of a woman who grew her own flax seeds and is turning it into linen. Like she's spinning it and turning it into linen.
Oh, wow.
And while people on the continent are not making their clothes from scratch, I do think the relationship is different.
Yeah.
And so in hearing conversations like this, I hope people are more inspired to be more maximalist.
Ooh, yes.
And put that shit on, please.
Put it on.
Put it on.
I want people to be more curious about artisans. And I want people to feel a deeper connection to their clothing, not just as clothing that can come in and out of their closet and then it ends up on the shores of a beach in Ghana. I want people to take pride in what they wear. I want people to understand that clothing is how you tell your story.
Yes.
We don't always have time for words.
Yeah, visual.
That is very true.
Exactly.
That is your visual resume.
Learn about what your visual language is. Study other cultures and take inspiration from that and use that to craft your own visual language and visual world. I don't know if it's because I'm a stylist. I think of everything as like, oh, brand, visual identity, visual language. Like I think in these terms now, but it's true. It's like
It's true.
you are your own character. Like the way that I think of style as a Nigerian, there's so many different sides of myself that I can express. And how I do that is through my clothes. If you know the work that I do with Timmy Fagbinle, you've seen our tunnel looks. It's almost as if every look, she's her own character.
Yes.
And it's all her. It's just these different sides of herself.
Yes.
So yeah, like have fun. Think outside of the box of how you can express yourself and don't be afraid to support brands from other continents.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. I just feel like your verbal resume is so important. Like you speaking to people without saying a word.
Exactly.
It's so important. And I think a lot of times we just kind of lose that, like how you said that we're not in tune with our fashion or like our clothes because we're not making it and all this other stuff. So I do agree. And I feel like telling stories about who you are just through your clothing is amazing.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
It's
and
the best
you
thing.
get to know yourself a little bit more when you get to know what you like to wear.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of times people really don't understand that. And it's something for me, I think that's why I do know who I am and I can show up in rooms as Monique, Phil Monique, whatever.
Exactly.
Because I've learned about fashion so young. I saw my grandma just be herself in her Saturday's best.
Yes.
And just own it and look amazing, you know? So you just, once you in fashion, but
exactly
anybody can understand it. You just got to get to know yourself.
Exactly.
Through clothes,
I love that you said that because one thing that I try to teach people, whether it's a client or somebody just coming to me for a consultation, is that the common thread in your style is always going to be you.
Yes.
And you need to know the essence of who you are and what your style is, because style is not a what. Style is not how you look. It's how you do things. How you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yes.
And so if you don't know your style, then your style would be defined for you. But to your point, it's like no matter what room you're in, whether the room requires a dress code, whether you're in a professional set, whatever the case may be, when you know yourself and you know your essence, you can then kind of pull the levers and dial it up, dial it down, depending on what is being required of you. And that isn't to say that you're conforming. You're being yourself. You're expressing yourself in that context.
Yeah. Yep. Yes.
See, Lola just be dropping the gems.
She definitely
But I think
do.
that's important to know about stylists is that we're not just putting clothes on you.
We're
also,
not.
Educators of fashion.
Yeah.
And I've told many people who have said like, I want this exact look. And I said, that's not my job to give you that exact look. My job is to give inspiration to pull that out of you
Yes.
and how I can make this piece your own, because anybody can find a look.
Yes.
Anybody can. So don't hire me to do that. I want you hire me because you want me to help you bring you out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You
A lot
know?
of people just know how to mannequin shop.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
that's, me working at Macy's. That's what a lot of people, I want that whole look. And for me, I'd be like, well, let's break the pieces
There you
apart.
go.
Let's
Yeah.
take the hoodie and let's do something
Yeah.
different with the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't think of that. So a lot of people don't know. They don't know themselves in clothes.
There you go.
And so that's where it
Exactly.
comes from.
Exactly. This is my second season as a WNBA stylist, and it's been very interesting because now that I have a second client within the league, they're almost on the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Mhm.
And I love that though, because it's range. Like on one end of the spectrum, shout out to Tammy for the creative freedom that she gives me, man.
Yes.
Like the level of trust.
I love that.
But
You got to trust us.
but
Yes.
I'm also committed to like giving her what she deserves
Yeah.
and then some.
Mhm.
And then with Damaris is still loosening up and still like learning her own visual language, but she has a solid foundation. And I do what I do with her foundation, and we're building up on it. And there's not as much creative freedom.
Mhm.
However, if you look at both of my clients, they both look like themselves.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
important.
Yep.
Mhm.
So, with that said, as we come to the end, even though I don't want it to end because
I don't want it
again,
to end.
we
It
can
was
keep
such a
talking and
good-
talking and talking and talking. But I want to thank Lola for this. I have learned so much, and I realize how much more research
Mhm.
I need to do. And I know Mo can feel the same way.
I do.
And is there just one more thing you want to leave before we really close this out?
Yeah.
And it can even just be a sentence or a word for our viewers.
Yeah.
I think we all should say a word.
Yeah. Ooh. Let's see, what's my word? There is a star that lives inside of you and it wants to shine.
You.
Yes. I'm going to use just one word and I'm going to say appreciate.
Appreciate you.
Yes, appreciate you, but also, yes, because the topic is don't appropriate.
Appreciate.
Yeah.
And that's part of doing your research.
Mhm. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
having
next
me.
time.
This was so fun.
And then Shay gonna tell us that what we gotta do to, follow and do all this stuff with this episode.
Absolutely. So, you already know the rules. You need to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and share some comments. What did you think of this episode? What do you want to learn? And you better be following our girl Lola, okay? But yeah, go ahead, hit that subscribe, like, and tell us what you want to hear next. Until next time.
Thank you.
Bye.